The British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Welcome to BCIT News. I'm your host, Caleb Bassey Templeton, and here are your 3:30 news and sports headlines. Starting off in news, as the Coquitlam RCMP is investigating a serious collision involving a pedestrian. The collision happened at approximately 7:45 a.m. today in the 300 block of David Avenue near Coast Meridian Road in Port Coquitlam. The driver of the vehicle remained on the scene, and the pedestrian has been transported to a local area hospital with serious injuries. The eastbound lanes of David Avenue and southbound lanes of Coast Meridian is currently closed, and there is no estimated time on the lanes reopening. Coquitlam RCMP are asking the public to stay out of the area. The North Vancouver RCMP has released a statement regarding a hit-and-run injuring 2 pedestrians. The RCMP says they received reports of a hit-and-run in the intersection of Highland Boulevard and Wavertree Road around 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. It is alleged that a man and a woman were hit by a white sedan while crossing the street. The alleged suspect slowed down the vehicle before quickly driving away. Mounties added that the white sedan may have broken a headlight and that anyone with dashcam or CCTV video is asked to call the North Vancouver RCMP at 604-985-1311. 3 men were arrested today by the Surrey Police Service following a shot-fired incident and have been charged with criminal code offenses. On February 1st at approximately 3:50 a.m., members of the Surrey Police Service were patrolling the Crescent Beach neighborhood when they received reports of gunshots fired and a small fire outside a residence near Crescent Road and 132nd Street. The investigation is still ongoing and further arrests may be forthcoming. The 3 accused will remain in custody until February 5th. Surrey residents are demanding action and greater public safety as the city faces rising levels of extortion cases. Our reporter Elijah Ford has the latest on the increasing unease in one of BC's largest cities.
The Surrey community came out in the dozens today despite heavy showers to inspire change as the city continues to face high levels of extortion-based crime. There were 132 extortion attempts reported in the city in 2025. Since the beginning of 2026, more than 35 suspected extortion incidents have already been reported, according to the Surrey Police Service. Rally organizer Dejinder Sodhi says that the recent surge is a major concern for both her and the broader community.
The kids are very scared, teenagers, adults. When we see the news that restaurant is targeted, that business is targeted, and we're already under inflation. So it's affecting the businesses very much because people are scared to open their businesses.
Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke requested Ottawa declare a national state of emergency in the area in response to the increased crime. Elijah Ford, BCIT News.
The BC government is in review of current forestry practices, as the system needs to be allotted with the focus and transparency about BC's forests. The final report from the Provincial Forestry Advisory Council said that their initial trust has been eroded by inconsistent data provided by the government. The industry is hoping for clearer data around old-growth trees. The report comes at a pivotal moment. The province of BC and TransLink are providing funding support for emergency barge services to and from West Ham Island in Delta, ensuring access to an important part of BC's food security and food supply. The West Ham Bridge, which was owned by TransLink, was closed due to safety concerns after being struck by a marine vessel in January. West Ham Island produces more than 25% of BC's seed potatoes, as well as other fruit and vegetables, honey, and livestock on more than 700 hectares of land. The province will support the city of Delta by reimbursing eligible transport costs of goods to and from the island. Anglers in British Columbia will now be required to use the same online licensing system as hunters to buy their freshwater fishing licenses. Starting February 9th, anglers can register for a free Fish and Wildlife ID, also known as FWID, to prepare for the upcoming 2026-2027 fishing season. According to Randeen Neal, the Minister of Water, Land, and Resource Stewardship, the decision is a response to the angling community asking for a more integrated approach to freshwater fishing licensing. The streets of Vancouver have been seeing protests and rallies, standing in solidarity with Iran. Our reporter Jenny Sung gives us more details.
Rallies in downtown Vancouver are still continuing for the fall of the Islamic Republic and the ongoing protests in Iran. Protesters say they are gathering to show solidarity and to draw more attention to human rights concerns overseas. Many Iranian Canadians say it's personal. Organizers say the goal of the rallies is to raise awareness and keep the public's attention on this, using Vancouver as a base and platform to help amplify voices that cannot be heard safely back home. Jenny Sung for BCIT News.
The Museum of Personal Failure has extended their run in Vancouver after an overwhelmingly successful response. The museum showcases art projects displaying artifacts of the contributors' personal failures. The exhibition idea came from creator and curator Evan Collins after he experienced a personal failure in his life, according to a museum representative. The exhibition is at Vancouver's Kingsgate Mall and has been extended for another week until February 9th. Moving to sports, as the city of Coquitlam is installing new sports equipment boxes starting today at 14 regional parks. As our reporter Braden Coombs reports, residents say this will be very impactful for the community, especially youth.
Installation of sports equipment stations is officially underway at various regional parks in Coquitlam. The rentable equipment will provide residents with an efficient way to rent sports gear free of charge. Chris Wilson, a Coquitlam resident and the chairman for Kids Sport, believes this will make sports more accessible for families and for kids.
Even storing a basketball, takes up too much space sometimes. So I think it's a great initiative, and it's going to make a difference.
The city is collaborating with Equip Sport and Canadian Tire Jumpstart charities to install these equipment boxes. Braden Coombs, BCIT News.
The Vancouver Canucks play the Utah Mammoth tonight on the road at 6:30 p.m. Vancouver is struggling as of late, losing 8 of their last 10 games and finding themselves at the bottom of the NHL standings. The Canucks play Vegas on the road on Thursday before a 3-week Winter Olympic break. Outside of the Canucks, there are 5 other Canadian teams on the NHL slate tonight. The Montreal Canadiens play the Minnesota Wild on the road at 4 p.m., and the Ottawa Senators visit the Pittsburgh Penguins at 4 p.m. as well. The Winnipeg Jets are in Dallas taking on the Stars at 5:30 p.m., and the Calgary Flames host the Toronto Maple Leafs at 7 p.m. Continuing in hockey, as the Nashville Predators announced that general manager Barry Trotz has stepped down from his role. According to NHL insider Elliot Friedman, Trotz told the team he was stepping down from the general manager role to transition into an adversary role with Nashville. The decision is not due to health issues, and Trotz has no plans on returning to coaching. Trotz spent 23 seasons as a head coach in the NHL, including winning a Stanley Cup with the Washington Capitals during the 2017-18 NHL season before becoming a general manager for one season in Nashville. Now to basketball, where there are 4 NBA games that are happening today. One of the games has already occurred as the Charlotte Hornets defeated the New Orleans Pelicans 102-95. The game was rescheduled due to an incoming snowstorm expected in the Charlotte area. Other NBA games that will be happening tonight include the Indiana Pacers hosting the red-hot Houston Rockets, the Memphis Grizzlies hosting Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then on the West Coast, the Los Angeles Clippers host the Philadelphia 76ers to conclude the night. The NFL has made an announcement that they have added more international games to their 2026-2027 NFL season. The new cities that will host a game that have never hosted one before are Paris and Melbourne, with the returning cities of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Munich in Germany, Madrid in Spain, London in England, and Mexico City in Mexico all hosting games as well. London is the only one of those cities that will be hosting more than one game, as they'll be hosting 3 games. The New Orleans Saints have been announced as the only team so far confirmed that will be playing in an international game in the Paris match. No other teams have been announced for any international game. I'm Caleb Bassey Templeton. Those have been your 3:30 sports and news headlines. Join me back tomorrow at 10:30 as I'll have more sports updates across the world.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
I would recommend this program for anyone that isn't sure what kind of job they want in media, because you learn everything from like public relations to communications to video editing, like radio, TV. So you do get a lot of experience in all the different fields in media.